Your income doesn't matter. Your age doesn't matter. Your race doesn't matter. Your geographical location doesn't matter. There's a thing that you and I are dealing with in your money, and it's called math. And none of those things I just mentioned give you a pass on math. And where people get themselves in trouble, including when I went broke many years ago because I was stupid, we get ourselves in trouble when we don't bother and do the math before we do the transaction. We're the stupid woman from San Diego who leased her dog for $5,400. We make $90,000 a year, and somehow in our brains figure out that our children deserve a $50,000 Honda SUV. And now we have to take the kids out of private school because we can't pay the payments on the SUV and the private school because we didn't do math. We're 21 years old. We buy a $10,000 car, run up $10,000 in credit card debt, and have $10,000 in medical bills and make $30,000 a year. When you make $30,000 a year, there's nowhere in that plan that the $10,000 car makes sense. There's nowhere in that plan that running up a bunch of credit card debt gives you any room to breathe. You already can't breathe. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids.
You know the funny thing about that, ladies and gentlemen? Dave Ramsey said you make $30,000 and you brought a $10,000 car. And it's not like the $10,000 car is going to be paid off in the same year. You probably do that. Let's just say you do that $10,000 car in 3 years. But then there's an individual with 3 kids and make $2,000 a year less. What's up, y'all, man? I'm back at it again. Chris One Radio Group. Welcome, Todd Smith Studios. I'm about to drop some facts at 100%. New to the channel, man, please, by all means, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell as well and share my videos. People, I want to talk about something tonight. I want to talk about investments. People, I have been successful in investing in every other thing in my life except people. I am a failure on a scale that is epic. The crazy thing about my failure when I try to invest in people is the ingredients in which I use, or should I say, the investment ingredients that I choose to use is what you're supposed to do? I don't know. But I want to talk about investments. People, I'm going to show you something. What I have here, excuse me, I have a couple of these. People, I brought these back in the 90s. People, I have invested over $300,000 in sports memorabilia collection. Individuals that know me, I say this all the time. Excuse me. One of the things that I've invested in, and the majority of my sports memorabilia investment has that one word synonymous with it, and it's limited. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys something that I invested in. This right here is a Michael Jordan bobblehead doll. It is made by Barron's. It was the only year that Michael Jordan went to play baseball. I have collected a lot of sports memorabilia, and the rarity of it is what makes it expensive. People, Sam's is the official bobblehead of Major League Baseball. Sam's. That is that company right there, Sam's. The coolest thing about this bobblehead is it's porcelain. All right? And you put the thing around its neck, so hear that clacking noise. This is porcelain. It's Michael Jordan. All right. I choose to invest like anybody else invest in anything, something that's supposed to yield a return off of what the base of what they put in it. All right. I don't expect 20 years later now this to be worth what I paid for it. You want it to be worth more. All right. Talking about investments. People, one of the things that I know, or let me show you this. This is the certificate of authenticity. I have 6799 out of 10,000 made. And the way this works is it's 10,000 made. They're assuming that about 1,250 were damaged in shipping. 50 of them people dropped. Another 25 was lost in a hurricane, a fire, whatever. And then when they figure 10,000 made, they figure that we're down to about 6,750. This is how it's calculated. But I still have it. People, I have a 6 Series and a BMW. A 6 Series BMW, and I have an 8 Series BMW. Both are collectors. I invested in those cars, and they constantly go up in value. Talking about investments. A little side note. People, if you have $300,000 in investment tied up in the market, fire your stockbroker, because everybody knows, mainly people that got white stock investors, if you got $300,000, you put 180 in liquid and you only put 120 in the market. Because if the market crashed tomorrow, that 300, now you're looking at just your worth of about 45,000. But when you're friends with your stockbroker, they're not going to tell you that. Just a little sidebar. We're talking about investments. People, as a single man, I am single because I'm constantly running into individuals that part of a relationship, they invest in pain when they were younger. Remember, I'm 51. I am running across individuals that invested in all kind of trash individuals, all kind of niggas, let me do my dance, a-holes on an epic scale, and they all burnt out when it comes to love because they gave it to all this nonsense. And what happens is, I came up with this perspective, and that perspective that I came up with is, it's like life allots you a certain amount of love. Life allots you a certain amount of cool. Life allots you a certain amount of hip. And you can use it all when you're young and you won't have any when you get old. Here's what I tell people. The cool that I was allotted for my life, I never used it when I was a kid. I was a nerd. I stayed in the house. I never used it. Even in my middle age, I never just use it. Now that I'm older, now that I'm 51, individuals are looking at me and they're like, you don't look 51. You don't act 51. There's nothing about you that says 51. I was talking to a woman last week, and I was telling her about my book. And then I told her the age of my daughter, and she looks over the seat and she says, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 51. She says, I thought you was about 28. Like, no, I'm not 28. But that's because even look at my dad. My dad like burnt out all his cool in his 20s and 30s. And by the time he got into his 40s and 50s, he had no cool left. People, when you invest in so much BS when you're young, when you take your love and you invest the best years of your love into dumb and bull crap and bullshit, you will have no love left when you get older. You won't. Your depiction of love is to simply have someone in your life to blame for all the people that did you wrong and are gone now. And you got so much residuals of pain that you can't muster up enough common sense or enough love. You don't have enough love in your love account to give that person what they are giving you. Because I'm going to tell you something. Phil Perry made a song, a reminiscence of the Spinners, "Love Don't Love Nobody." And Phil Perry said at the end, what Phil Perry said at the end of his version is, "I'm just saying that you'll only get as good as you give." Ooh. But we talking about investments tonight, y'all. Law Talk Radio, 98.3.com FM, on facts at 100%. People, I'm kicking facts. My facts breaks backs. People, excuse me for a second. Dag nabbit. People, I fathered a child. And I fathered a child with a woman that invested in hurt and pain. And people, I'm going to tell you something. What I said earlier was, when I invested in this, I don't expect it to be worth 20 years later what I paid for it 20 years ago. I expect this to be worth more. I need y'all to follow me. What do you think you're going to get when you invest in pain? What do you think you're going to get when you invest when you invest in manipulation? When you invest in deflection? People, I'm going to tell you something. I was the union representative at the post office in Orange, New Jersey. You can call them and ask them. I represented about 900 people. So 900 people's problems fell on my back. You see, this is why I'm not trying to win nothing with an individual. I put my smartness to great use. And the thing that I was good at was sticking to the facts. Facts at 100%? Facts, huh? Okay. And I've noticed, like Loki, the master of musician, Loki was a master at showing something, or should I say this? The devil did a great job at convincing the world that he did not exist. This is why when people do negative stuff, they try to act like it didn't happen. This is why when you say something to them, they counter with some lie. People, I'm going to tell you something. Sidebar. When somebody invokes a lie into a conversation, conversation's over. Stop speaking to them. If you say something to somebody that's true and they rebuttal it with a deflection and a lie, stop. Don't invest in that conversation no more. Because what you're doing now is you allow and you are dealing with somebody that's investing in trickery. You're dealing with somebody that's investing in deflection. Oh, you know what? I know I did wrong, but I'm going to stack on 5 things and try to push that away. Nope, that's not how that works. People, allow me to wander off, will you please? So Friday night, right? Friday night, it was the coldest night here in Virginia. And I was in here. And being alone, I engage in work. And so I brought my house, right? My house is my investment. And I needed my house Friday more than I ever did because I was not realizing that I was having an episode, which I do every weekend. Every weekend I have an episode. There was times people, when I brought my house on the weekends, I spent the night here because I didn't want to be home. Another story. But it was cold and something said, Chris, go home. Chris, just go home. And I think the problem is that I didn't appreciate my house. I brought it in April. This is October. And I went in my house and it was a little chilly. It was the coldest night here in Virginia. And my house has 3-zone heat. So I had to go to each thermostat and I put it at 80. And right outside my bedroom window is a tower. My HVAC system is a tower. It's the second best one on the market. I didn't put it in the house. It was there when I got it. All right. I didn't put it. It's like a $16,000 to $21,000 unit. All right. I didn't put it there. All right. I didn't. It's just overkill for the house. When they came and did the inspection on the house, they was like, what the hell is that big thing doing in this small house? Appreciate it though, nonetheless. But when I turned everything on and I heard the thing come on and I was just walking through the house and I felt the hot air. I appreciated my house at that moment. It was at that moment, some 6 months later, my house became my home. People, when I was a little kid, we didn't have heat. I used to sleep in my cold clothes. I used to sleep in the clothes that I was going to wear to school the next day because I didn't want to wake up into the cold house. Talking about investments. I had a little tear trying to come. I had to pat it back. When I think about that, it just throws me. Forgive me. Don't tell nobody. I have such a great life. So, people, I'm gonna tell you, man. Investments. People, I've done well in life. I've done well. No, that I've done great in life. I did. People, I invest in my health. I invest in my finances. I invest in my looks, my appearance. I read books. I have about 60 books in my home library. I invest in my intellect. I invest. I don't put nothing in my ears that's going to be some nonsense. If you're investing in trickery, if you're investing in flipping the script, if you're investing in deflection, bye-bye. I don't invest in those tactics. I invest in love. I decided today I'm going to go get me a dog. Next month, next week, in a couple of weeks, I'll have another dog. I'm just going to get me a dog. I'm happy, y'all. I'm happy. I'm happy. I don't deserve negative that people give me. I don't. One day I'll meet a woman that says, holy fuck, this is a great man. They're out there. I'm not gonna say they're not. I'm gonna meet that woman. I'm gonna meet that woman that said, nope, a no good nigga tried to talk to me, and I said, nigga, please. I'm not gonna meet that woman that said, I invested time in a nigga that was in jail, and you gotta understand they ain't all the same, and you gonna, oh my God. Give me a minute. People, I love my brothers. I love my mom. I lift weights now. I used to mimic Lou Ferrigno. I mimic my brother now. I mimic my brother. I ain't spoke to the dude in 12 years. But that's all I got. He's my brother. But he invested in some real fucking dark spirits in his life. He's not true to his wife. He cheats on his wife. He done had 2 or 3 babies. Definitely 2, possibly 3 babies on his wife. He ain't loyal to nobody. I can't deal with that. My mom, I love my mom. But people, I can't fuck with people that invest in that. Can't. I can't. I was in the gym today. I'm sorry, yesterday. And there's this. I go to the, I'm in a rural neighborhood. My gym is up the street. And I goes into the gym, and there's this woman of color in there, and we are like the only 2 in there. And she's just she's a stack house. And we crossed paths, but I didn't say anything. And I feel people out. Some people expect the moment to whatever, but I feel people out. And you don't know what people been through in their life. But isn't it amazing when they actually tell you? Isn't it amazing? People, I had a profile on a dating site a month and a half ago. And on that profile, I said, I don't deal with negativity. I'm not one of them individuals that's burnt out. I'm not one of them individuals that dealt with a no good person all my life. Now I'm burnt out. That's what I had on my profile. And I got all kind of individuals that, I don't know what type of women you dealt with, all this. And then, you listen. If I'm saying that, doesn't that mean that as a man on my meeting end, I'm just constantly meeting women that are doing that? People, when you hungry, don't you invest in food? When you thirsty, don't you invest in something to drink? Don't you work as an investment for your life? I work out for an investment for my health. Why are you investing in hurt and pain? Why are you investing in trickery, your word antics? Why are you investing in all these side things, this deflection and all that? Why? The The Barge made a song, Love Me in a Special Way. And the words of that song says, what worked so well for you before, for me, simply just won't do. People, I'm going to tell you something. I could apply my love to every woman I meet. I could. My love is a great investment. It is. Loving me is a great investment, excuse me. Great investment. I just don't seem to meet individuals that know how to accept this investment at market value. Because after all, for years now on YouTube, even my pay-per-view channel, from what I've seen, from what I've noticed, individuals don't seem to love you based on how well you love them. Because I loved. They only seem to love you based on what you let them get away with. And then when you call them on a bull, oh, their deflection game, depending on how many niggas they dealt with. Follow me. Appreciate those thumbs up. Depending on how many niggas they dealt with, oh, their deflection game off the hook. This is how you can tell what individuals invested in their life. I brought this 20 years ago. I'll show you something else. This right here, signed autographed picture of Cal Ripken Jr., Baltimore Orioles shortstop. It's signed. You see it right there. Certificate of authenticity on the back. I paid $700 for this over 20 years ago. Now, I want to be clear on something. Everybody that collects sports memorabilia knows one thing. It will never mature in your lifetime. So why did I spend and why did I invest over $100,000 in sports memorabilia? I got Derek Jeter rookie cards. I got about 4 of those. I got Ken Griffey Jr. I got Wayne Gretzky. Why? Why do you invest in something that you won't get a return on in your lifetime? Anybody? Who said that? The investment was for my child. 20 years ago. That's how we think ahead. You see, my greatness is in layers. I got proof of my greatness for years ago, decades. At 51 years old, I can show you signs of great investments from decades ago. But I'm meeting individuals that's telling me they want to invest in a man like me today, but the other decades of their life, they was investing in bullshit. You can look at them and see, oh, your audience is the nigger world. My audience is not the nigger world. I can sit down here and show you my sports member, my Wayne Gretzky. I can show you all my stuff. I can be doing videos for weeks. Yeah. What are you investing in? And why do you think that bullshit works? Love works for me very well. It does. It's the holder of it I have a problem with. So I'll end it with this. Be wary of what you invest in. Because that Toyota Corolla I got outside, it's a great investment for commuting. But the BMWs I got at home, a great investment if I wanted to race somebody. So different classes, different needs. And those, my friends, are facts at 100%. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, y'all.